All right. So I would like to read to you some passages from The Lightning Thief that I'm sure are going to get you interested in it. I picked out 3 passages that I thought were very intriguing, action packed, and just kind of pull the reader in. So I'm going to read a few of those today. So the first passage that I'm going to read is at the very beginning of the book. It is at the first chapter that's called I Accidentally Vaporized My Pre-Algebra Teacher. So the passage says, "Look, I didn't want to be a half-blood. If you're reading this because you think you might be one, my advice is close this book right now. Believe whatever lie your mom or dad told you about your birth and try to lead a normal life. Being a half-blood is dangerous. It's scary. Most of the time, it gets you killed in painful, nasty ways. If you're a normal kid reading this because you think it's fiction, great, read on. I envy you for being able to believe that none of this ever happened. But if you recognize yourself in these pages, if you feel something stirring inside, stop reading immediately. You might be one of us. And once you know that, it's only a matter of time before they sense it too, and they'll come for you. Don't say I didn't warn you. My name is Percy Jackson. I'm 12 years old. Until a few months ago, I was a boarding student at Yancey Academy, a private school for troubled kids in upstate New York. Am I a troubled kid? Yeah, you could say that." So that's the first passage that I decided to read to you that I thought you'd find interesting. So the second passage is after Percy has gotten to Camp Half-Blood. He has been taken there by Grover, and they are getting ready to do a capture the flag activity. And this is during the middle of that capture the flag activity, and he gets in a little bit of a scuffle with a specific camper named Clarice who he does not get along with. And something pretty cool happens. On the other side of the creek, the underbrush exploded. 5 Ares warriors came yelling and screaming out of the dark. "Cream the punk," Clarice screamed. Her ugly pig eyes glared through the slits of her helmet. She brandished a 5-foot-long spear, its barbed metal tip flickering with red light. Her siblings had only the standard-issued bronze swords. Not that they made me feel any better. They charged across the stream. There was no help in sight. I could run, or I could defend myself against half the Ares cabin. I managed to sidestep the first kid's swing, but these guys were not as stupid as the Minotaur. They surrounded me, and Clarice thrust at me with her spear. My shield deflected the point, but I felt a painful tingling all over my body. My hair stood on end. My shield arm went numb, and the air burned. Electricity. Her stupid spear was electric. I fell back. Another Ares guy slammed me in the chest with the butt of his sword, and I hit the dirt. They could have kicked me into jelly, but they were too busy laughing. "Give him a haircut," Clarice said. "Grab his hair." I managed to get to my feet. I raised my sword, but Clarice slammed it aside with her spear as sparks flew. Now both my arms felt numb. "Oh, wow," Clarice said. "I'm scared of this guy, really scared." "The flag's that way," I told her. I wanted to sound angry, but I was afraid it didn't come out that way. "Yeah," one of her siblings said. "But see, we don't care about the flag. We care about a guy who made our cabin look stupid. You do that without my help," I told them. It's probably the smartest thing to say. 2 of them came at me. I backed up towards the creek, tried to raise my shield, but Clarice was too fast. Her spears stuck me straight in the ribs. If I hadn't been wearing an armored breastplate, I would have been shish kebabbed. As it was, the electric point just about shook my teeth out of my mouth. One of her cabin mates slashed his sword across my arm, leaving a good-sized cut. Seeing my own blood made me feel dizzy, warm, and cold at the same time. "No maiming," I managed to say. "Oops," the guy said. "Guess I lost my desert privilege." He pushed me into the creek, and I landed with a splash. They all laughed. I figured as soon as they were through being amused, I would die. But then something happened. The water seemed to wake up my senses, as if I just had a bag of my mom's double espresso jelly beans. So that's where I'd like to end for that passage. I have one more passage that I'd like to read to you. This passage is after Percy finds out more about his dad and the prophecy that has been made about him and what is supposed to happen to him once he comes of age. Poseidon and Zeus, I said. They're fighting over something valuable, something that was stolen, aren't they? Chiron and Grover exchanged looks. Chiron sat forward in his wheelchair. How did you know that? My face felt hot. I wished I hadn't opened my big mouth. The weather since Christmas has been weird, like the sea and the sky are fighting. Then I talked to Annabeth, and she overheard something about a theft, and I've also been having these dreams. I knew it, Grover said. Hush, satyr, Chiron ordered. But it is his quest. Grover's eyes were bright with excitement. It must be. Only the oracle can determine. Chiron stroked his bristly beard. Nevertheless, Percy, you are correct. Your father and Zeus are having their worst quarrel in centuries. They're fighting over something valuable that was stolen. To be precise, a lightning bolt. I laughed nervously. A what? Do not take this lightly, Chiron warned. I'm not talking about some tinfoil-covered zigzag you'd see in a second-grade play. I'm talking about a 2-foot-long cylinder of high-grade celestial bronze, capped on both ends with god-level explosives. Oh. Zeus's master bolt, Chiron said, getting worked up now, the symbol of his power, from which all other lightning bolts are patterned, the first weapon made by the Cyclops for the war against the Titans, the bolt that sheared the top of Mount Etna and hurled Kronos from his throne, the master bolt, which packs enough power to make mortal hydrogen bombs look like firecrackers. And it's missing? Stolen, Chiron said. By who? By whom, Chiron corrected. Once a teacher, always a teacher. By you. My mouth fell open. At least, Chiron held up a hand, that's what Zeus thinks. During the winter solstice at the last council of the gods, Zeus and Poseidon had an argument. The usual nonsense. Mother Rhea always liked you best. Air disasters are more spectacular than sea disasters, etc. Afterward, Zeus realized his master bolt was missing, taken from the throne room under his very nose. He immediately blamed Poseidon. Now, a god cannot usurp another god's symbol of power directly. That is forbidden by the most ancient of divine laws. But Zeus believes your father convinced a human hero to take it. And that is the last passage that I'm going to read to you today. I hope that these got you interested in The Lightning Thief, and I hope that you will pick it up and take a shot at reading it.